Planning travel after 50 can feel overwhelming. Hours spent searching for flights, the right accommodations, the right areas to stay in each of the cities, and all the safety tips that you need, only to end up frustrated, exhausted with excess information. But what if I could cut that time in half?
In this video, I'm going to show you what the difference is in planning a trip itinerary, doing it the old-fashioned way compared to using GPT, and then you can decide which method works best for you. I'm Valerie. I'm 62 years old, and several months ago, I quit my full-time career to start traveling solo around the world.
My mission with this channel is simple: to help other travelers over 50 plan smarter, save money, and build travel itineraries with confidence.
So welcome back to Travel for One, solo travel over 50. Have you been hearing everyone talk about GPT, but not quite sure what it would actually do for you? And would it really save you time using ChatGPT for travel planning?
Here's the thing. The old way of planning takes forever, you have to admit. I used to have notebooks full of scribbled down notes, endless bookmarked blogs, and dozens of videos saved just to piece together one itinerary. If that sounds like you, you're not alone. But what if there's a better way? So I decided to put ChatGPT to the test.
I'm going to be using a trip that I just finished making all the reservations for about 2 weeks ago. I requested information from flying from Bangkok to Albania to Greece and then to Turkey and back to Bangkok. I did not necessarily put the request in for specific locations, so this is a great way of learning about new locations that might fit into your budget. I also put in that I was a solo traveler, my age. I did request the travel information based on $3,000 a month travel budget. In 31 seconds, it suggested I spend 20 nights in Albania and doing day trips to 3 or 4 different locations like Saranda, to spend 22 additional nights in Greece, but mainly basing myself out of Athens and then doing day trips to some of the closer islands, and an additional 15 days in Istanbul, Turkey. And then it's giving me different transportation methods between each of the countries, with a rough estimate between $400 and $1,200 total for transportation. What I liked about the information about best areas to stay in for a female solo traveler is it explains why it's recommending those areas. It might be walkable or great transportation or maybe great restaurants that are in that local area. Based on those areas for accommodations, I like that it gives me budget, mid-range, and high-end accommodation expenses. It's also giving me the difference between hotels and maybe reserving an Airbnb or a booking.com accommodation and giving me an estimate of how much those accommodations should cost. One of the pieces of information this really helps you with is your budget. Because I had put into my inquiry that my budget was no more than $3,000 a month, it's specifically listing each city and how much I need to look at spending on accommodations and food costs to keep my budget within that $3,000 a month.
That would have been days and hours of work for me, yet it was done in less than a minute. Here's a travel tip for my over 50 audience. Always tell ChatGPT your nationality. The first time I forgot to put that information into my inquiry, and it gave me conflicting visa advice for the Schengen countries. Once I added my nationality, the response was accurate and up to date. That saved me from wasting time digging through confusing government websites.
It also gave me some safety guidelines.
ChatGPT also gave me something I really didn't expect: a daily budget target. All of your trip details, your budget, safe areas to stay in, and the transportation you're going to need are all in one place, ready to adjust as your plans evolve.
One of the most important pieces that you need to end your inquiry with is please ask any additional qualifying questions to make this itinerary, because then the AI knows to ask questions back to you to get more specific information. Now that I see that it's understanding what I'm trying to accomplish, I now put in a request for specific areas in each country, along with the amount of time I'd like to stay within that country. I requested additional transportation and restaurant cost, and now it gave me very specific information about the trip I want to take.
That kind of simple, clear breakdown takes away so much of the stress of wondering, am I going to overspend or am I going to stay within my $3,000 a month budget?
After ChatGPT clarified some dates and then the type of luggage that I'm traveling with, it was ready to actually send me a spreadsheet with all the detailed information.
So here's the bottom line. AI is a powerful tool for travelers over 50. It saves time, reduces the stress, and helps you stick to your budget, all while giving you the peace of mind about safety and logistics. But how accurate is it really? Next week, I'll compare ChatGPT's numbers with my own real-world research to see if the budget it gave me actually holds up. You won't want to miss this one. If you found this useful, hit subscribe and join me every week for practical tips on planning smarter and traveling the world further, because traveling after 50 should feel like freedom, certainly not frustration.